Acts 23. The high priest Ananias smote Paul, and he said, Thou judge me to be smitten contrary to the law? Paul perceived that part of the audience was Sadducees and the others were Pharisees. He cried, I am a Pharisee. Of the hope and resurrection of the dead, my call into question. There arose a dissension. Sadducees say there is no resurrection, but the Pharisees say that there is. There arose a cry, We can find no evil in this man. There arose a great dissension. Unless Paul be pulled in pieces, the soldiers took him by force. The Jews demanded, saying they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul. More than 40 had made this conspiracy. We are ready to kill him. Paul's sister's son, or his nephew, told Paul, Jews would inquire more perfectly, but 40 men will have him killed, looking for a promise for thee. Tell no man these things. They provide Paul safety into the governor. Jews laid wait for the man. We have found this man a pestilent fellow, and a mover of sedition. Paul answered, Neither disputing with any man, neither can they prove whereof they accuse me. Many years I bring alms to my nation, purified in the temple, neither with tumult. Felix answered, Go thy way. But Felix to the Jews a pleasure left Paul bound. Jews sought against Paul, laying wait to kill him. But Festus said, Paul will depart shortly. Said Paul, To the Jews I have done nothing wrong, as thou knowest. If I be worthy of death, I refuse not to die. But if there is none of these things, then no man may deliver me. I appeal unto Caesar. Festus declared Paul's cause unto the king. There is a certain man in bonds. It is not the man of the Romans to deliver any man to die, but he which is accused to answer for himself. The accusers had certain questions of Jesus, but Paul appealed unto the hearing of Caesar. Agrippa said, Paul, speak for thyself. Paul answered, I think of myself happy. From my youth I lived a Pharisee, and now I serve God day and night. Why incredible that God should raise the dead? Why do you think it's incredible that God should raise the dead? Christ first rose from the dead. Festus said, Much learning doth make thee mad. He said, I am not mad, but of soberness. King Agrippa, believest thou the prophets? Agrippa said, Almost thou persuadest me to be Christian. This man does nothing worthy of death. Travels towards Rome. They delivered Paul. Judas courteously entreated Paul. We had sailed many days, the wind not suffering us. Much damage to the ship. Neither the star nor the sun appeared in many days. All hope was being taken away. But Paul said, Sirs, ye should have hearkened unto me. Now there shall be no loss of life, but of the ship. The ship will be gone, but you will all live. Then were they all of good cheer. They ran the ship aground, broken with the violence of the waves. The soldiers' counsel was to kill the prisoners, but the centurion saved Paul, so he could swim to land. Someone broke a piece of the ship, and all safe to land. Paul had a fire, and there came a viper on his hand. The barbarians saw and said, This man is a murderer. He shook off the beast and felt no harm. They changed their minds. He was a god. Publius lodged us 3 days. The father of Publius Paul healed. When we came to Rome to deliver the prisoners, Paul said, I have committed nothing. I was prisoner, and they would have let me go. 23 of chapter 28 I circled. Romans 55 AD. Paul, an apostle, written to the Romans, I am ready to preach, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation. Men became vain in their imaginations, and foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, changed the glory of God into a corrupt man. God also gave them up to uncleanness, lust of their own hearts. They worshipped the creature more than the Creator. And women did change the natural use into that was against nature. Likewise also the men with men, receiving in themselves that recompense of their error. They did not like to retain God in their knowledge, and God gave them up to a reprobate mind, to do those things not convenient. Reprobate means worthless or unable to stand test. Filled with all unrighteousness, without understanding, committing things worthy of death, having pleasure in them that do them.